Hello and welcome back to SF a Giants recap. And I'm doing a live stream today because it is the last game before opening day. And Pablo Sandoval, it was his last game as well. And we're going to go over all of how the roster's playing out, how everything is expected to go, and different thoughts. So make sure to put your thoughts in the comments, and we're going to hop into just the full recap. So in today's game, the Giants, they lost 3-1. It wasn't a great game for the Giants offense. We had what would probably be our opening day lineup, and they didn't really show up. One run, and that was from Joey Bart. And Joey Bart, we're gonna go over him later, but he is making a contention to be maybe on the opening day roster. A lot of people are doubting it, but when you play that well in spring training and bat above 400, and Patrick Bailey, who still has options and can go and play down in AAA, why not try out Bart? So he's made a case for himself. Maybe try him out, or maybe have three catchers on the roster if you have other places where you're more comfortable. I don't know what they'll do, but hopefully they make the right decision. And the right decision, in my opinion, is give Bart a chance, at least a chance. We have hardly given him much of a chance anytime, and it's just been kind of the same story. So Pablo Sandoval, it's unfortunately probably, I think, almost 100% his last game, and it was really good standing ovation from the crowd. We saw a lot of just supportive fans, and it's sad that it's over, but be happy that happened. And he's a forever Giant, obviously. And he got that nice hit, the broken bat hit. I feel like that's the most Pablo type of hit, the broken bat hit in the right field. So good to see from him, though, to end it on a hit and not just strike out and have one where it was like Sergio Romo last year when he got a pitch clock violation when he's getting a standing ovation. So it's much better than that. And hopefully we can now continue into the regular season. We also had Luke Jackson pitch today. He did pretty well in today's game. 1 1/3 innings pitched. Hopefully he can continue to do well. In spring, he didn't perform great, but he also only had like 4 appearances. So I don't know what to expect from Luke Jackson because we didn't really get to see much of what he is capable of. So hopefully we can see him be more reliable than he was last year. Spencer Howard, he was doing well, got 2 strikeouts, and then got a line drive right back and hit his arm. So that's just unfortunate, but it seems to just be a bruise, nothing more so far. And I don't think he was going to be on the opening day roster. The roster's kind of up for grabs still. Dalton Jeffries, he's the guy there. Landon Root, those guys are all kind of waiting to see what plays out, and hopefully we can see some nice lefties in there because they've had Juan Sanchez, Landon Root, Dalton Jeffries. Dalton Jeffries is a lefty, but still, all those guys are kind of competing for a spot, and it's still there. It's a possibility, and there isn't really a guy that's set there. So we did see Austin Slater today struggle. Austin Slater should not be on this team. Without a doubt, should not be on this team. He has such a low baseball IQ. On the last pitch of the game, he sat there like a deer in headlights and looked at the pitch go right down the middle. Then earlier in the game, there's a fly ball to him. It was a hard play. Probably wouldn't have made the catch, but he whiffed the ball. He jumped up probably 10, 15 feet from the wall and whiffed it and went right behind him and gave up a triple on that. If he would either just played the wall, maybe been a little bit more athletic or knew where the wall was, then he could have made a play. I bet Yaz makes that play. I bet Matos has a possibility of making that play. But just Austin Slater, I have nothing but complaints about him. He's not good, and it's been I think a 5-6 year experiment of Austin Slater. So hopefully he doesn't make the roster. Again, with Joey Bart, I really think Joey Bart deserves a chance. And today he had a nice line drive single. Why are we not giving him a chance? It's not my decision, but I wish it was because Joey Bart deserves a chance. We saw a little bit of some good hits from Chapman. He had a nice line drive. Then Wilmer Flores, he had a great double, and then I think another kind of infield single. So Wilmer Flores, though, I think that he's going to go in the season no one really looks at Wilmer Flores because he's just kind of there and performs solid, no complaints. But I think that he's a really underrated guy and deserves a lot of credit. He performs great, has always has an above average batting average, does great getting on base, has a lot of baseball IQ, rarely makes dumb mistakes, and then puts the ball in play, has situational awareness, gets a sac fly when you need one, puts the ball on the ground to the right side of the infield when you need to advance a runner. Just that type of guy that you need on your team, and that's Wilmer Flores. And so look out for Wilmer and watch how he does that because he performs really well. As for Tyler Fitzgerald, he struck out twice today, but I think that Tyler Fitzgerald may need to be on the AAA roster to start the season because I'd rather him be there than on the roster, on the major league roster, and he's just on the bench, not getting reps, not getting any better. So if he can be on the major league roster, I mean on the minor league roster, I think that'll be a much better situation for him than if he was on the major league roster and he was either struggling or on the bench or not getting any reps. That I think would improve him, and he can come up whenever there's an injury or if someone's doing really bad or something like that. He's your guy to call up. Ishmael Mungia, he had a great hit into center field, and I think that he is a very dark horse pick to maybe make the major league roster. I I say give him a chance. He deserves it over Slater. He deserves it probably over Conforto. Just Conforto has a much better history than Ismael Mungia. But Mungia, he's performed great this spring. He did solid, I think, last year in the minors. Why not give him a chance in the majors? I mean, maybe not have him on the opening day roster, but him and Fitzgerald, they could be your go-to guys. If an infielder gets hurt, go to Fitzgerald. If an outfielder gets hurt, go to Mungia. If it's a righty, then you go Fitzgerald. If it's a lefty, Mungia. It's that type of situation where you have those two guys be your next call-ups, and I think they deserve a chance. Ishmael Mungia has been doing really well, putting in a lot of effort. You can tell he plays the game with a lot of effort, and he wants to play. So why not try him out? He's done really well. So that's just my opinion on Mungia and his situation because he's athletic, puts the ball in play, and that's the type of player we need. We don't need the guys that are striking out. We don't need the guys that are putting in the ball weak ground balls, easy plays. He's hitting line drives. He's making the defense make plays, and that's the type of player you need for this ball club. So hopefully that gets figured out. As for the pitching side, though, Logan Webb, we're going to kind of talk about him because everyone has different feelings. They're like, well, he probably just was trying to fix something in spring training and it didn't go as planned. Or is he actually struggling? Is he actually going to be not the guy that he was last year? And in my opinion, I think he's not going to take second in Cy Young voting just based on how spring went, but I think that he'll still be your number one. If Snell starts doing really well and keeps that up, then he's going to be your number two. But I think he's still going to be that guy that you rely on. You can put him out there. He's going to give you 7 innings. Maybe he allows 3 runs, 2 runs here or there, which isn't bad at all. But I think that he's not going to be as dominant because of the spring and because of how much they're hitting them. And he's throwing strikes, which matters, but people are hitting it. And it's not like it's lucky contact. They're hitting solid line drives. So I think that if that gets figured out, then that'll be just fine for Logan Webb, and we won't even look back at the spring. Maybe in August, he's number 1 in Cy Young, and we totally forget about spring, and we never bring it up again. So you never know what will happen. It's hard to base stuff off spring because I take spring as like another tryout, like everyone's on the same level, and it's how you're performing. Other people take spring as it's just practice. They are where they were last year, and then you just kind of base off that. So that's why I really like spring training, to kind of see the different things that people are working on and the different things that people are putting in effort and who's fixing what pitch and all that. So hopefully in the opening day, we see the Logan Webb that we saw in the regular season last year. As for Jordan Montgomery, he signed with the Diamondbacks, 1-year deal. Of course, he goes to the NL West. Where else would he go? Because that's just how it works out for us. In the NL West, we have Blake Snell, Logan Webb, Tyler Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I botched that name. Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler. Then we have Jordan Montgomery, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly. Now on the Padres, you have Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove, And then the Rockies, no threat there. But this NL West is stacked with pitching. So, uh, is it his last game for sure? I don't think it's for sure, but I think that it's very, very likely and almost 100% confirmed that this was his last game. I just haven't seen any formal update from the Giants. Um, I was kind of picking that up, but I wasn't totally sure. Yeah, I think that it's most definitely his last game, unless something else happens and I don't know, some weird scenario happens where it's not his last game. But I think that when you have him go out in the middle of the game, get a standing ovation, and then go up to bat in the ninth to get another standing ovation, have all the signs, it's kind of pointing towards this is his last game because he had a trap spring. He's not. You're not going to put him over really anyone. Casey Schmidt, even Casey Schmidt's better than him right now, unfortunately. But I think that it just kind of totally depends on a wild situation where he comes back. But I doubt it. I think this is his last game. It's pretty guaranteed because he's batting below 200. So going to the minors at his age is just not worth it. Yeah, it's you would rather have a guy hitting 200 that's 22 years old than a guy hitting 200 that's 37 years old. And so you're going to take the 22-year-old any day. It's not worth it for the Giants to try to take a roster spot with Pablo. And I think that him stepping down right here will be a good pick because you can't have a roster spot with a guy that it's probably not going to make the team. So, yeah, hopefully we figure out something there with the third base position with Casey Schmidt, if he's going to go after third or shortstop, Fitzgerald, if he's going to go more towards the outfield position. But a lot of different things have to go into play. I wonder when Snell will make his debut. Yeah, I think that Snell will be making his debut probably the second series, I would guess, or yeah, I don't think it's going to be Sunday, but I think that he will be pitching pretty soon, and he's wanting to be out there quick. Bob Melvin wants him out there quick, but you can't rush anything, especially with a Cy Young Award winner. You don't want to put any more pressure on his arm than you already have to. So probably the second series, probably opening that series off or somewhere around there because they haven't fully come out and said, but I think he's definitely not starting in the first 3 games of the season. So hopefully Snell, though, comes out performing great and we don't have to worry about stupid signing from us. So that will be kind of the big question mark of Snell, Webb, Jordan Hicks, if he can keep it up because he's been doing amazing, like I said in yesterday's video, and how everyone else kind of plays out in the pitching situation because we have a lot of great pitchers, but just not a lot of stability when it comes to injuries. Robbie Ray, he's not going to be back until the All-Star break, and he had Tommy John. Alex Cobb had an injury. Jordan Hicks has had injuries. Logan Webb's the only one that really hasn't. Blake Snell hasn't had many bad ones, I don't think. But you have a lot of guys that are injury prone that you can't really take a risk on. I think Alex Cobb is back from the injury list, but I'm not sure we should save him for a home game because he's trash on the road. Yeah, Alex Cobb, I think that he is back from his injury. He got back really quick. They're expecting Cobb to be out for a while, and he's on pace to be back by the first or second series. So really good from Cobb to kind of push that and get back. Jordan Hicks just had an injury. I don't think he just had an injury, but in the past he's been out for a while. I think he had some sort of issues with like Tommy John or some elbow issues because he throws so fast. But I think that's been a little while since it's his last injury. I think September 17th, 2022 was when he had his injury. It was a neck injury. And then I think he had one earlier. So, yeah, he's had a little bit of a history with injuries. But I think that if he's pitching 5 innings, then every game, you're not going to push him towards his max. And if he also keeps the velo down, then we can hopefully keep control of his arm. So that will do it for today's recap. Thanks so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe and like, and I'll see you next time for a new SF Giants recap video.